Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Officials say the number of children killed during a crush at Indonesia's Kanjuruhan Stadium has risen to 32. Authorities say the youngest victim of Saturday's disaster, in which 125 people lost their lives, was just 3 years old. More than 320 other people were injured as supporters were trampled on and suffocated in crushes. Arema soccer club apologised to victims of the deadly stadium stampede, with its president stating he was ready to take full responsibility for the events. We are ready to give compensation, anything, to the victims, even though anything we do cannot bring back the victims, said Gilang Widya Pramana, who paused briefly during the news conference to wipe away tears. On Sunday, Pope Francis prayed for the victims of the crush. Brazil's election is going into a second round in which left-winger Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva will face far-right incumbent Jair Bolsonaro. With almost all the votes counted, Lula had won 48% against Bolsonaro's 43%, a much closer result than opinion polls had suggested. But Lula fell short of the more than 50% of valid votes needed to prevent a new runoff. Voters now have 4 weeks to decide which of the two should lead Brazil. A delegation from the West African regional body ECOWAS is due to arrive in Burkina Faso later to try to help restore calm following the country's second coup this year. On Sunday, the military leader who had been in power for 8 months formally resigned, 2 days after being toppled by a rival faction.
La suspension de la Constitution.
ECOWAS has called on the new military leadership, led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, to respect an earlier agreement to hold elections by July 2024. Burkina Faso has seen a dramatic increase in attacks by jihadist groups. The growing insecurity has played a key role in both coups. After seizing power, Captain Traoré said the country faced an emergency in every sector, including defence. The UK government is abandoning its plan to abolish the top rate of income tax for the highest earners following a growing backlash. Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng said it is clear that the abolition of the 45p tax rate has become a distraction, adding, "We get it and we have listened." The U-turn comes after several Tory MPs voiced their opposition to the plan, announced just 10 days ago in the mini-budget.
We just talk to people, we listen to people, I get it. We not only talked to people, we saw people's reactions, we were talking to constituents, we were talking to a whole range of stakeholders, and we felt that the 45p issue, the 45p rate, was drowning out a strong package of intervention on energy, a strong package of intervention on tax cuts for people generally, and we decided not to proceed with getting rid of the 45p rate.
The Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine has gone to Sweden's Svante Pääbo for his work on human evolution. The prize committee said he achieved the seemingly impossible task of cracking the genetic code of one of our extinct relatives, Neanderthals. He also discovered the previously unknown relative, Denisovans,
for his discoveries concerning the genomes of extinct hominins and human evolution.
His much-lauded work helped explore our own evolutionary history and how humans spread around the planet.
Untersucht diese Verbindungen im Erbgut mit unseren nächsten Verwandten.
The Swedish geneticist's work answers questions such as where do we come from and what allowed Homo sapiens to succeed while our relatives went extinct. And finally, Kim Kardashian has been charged by the US Securities and Exchange Commission for advertising Ethereum Max on her Instagram page. The reality TV star had received $250,000 for advertising the cryptocurrency without disclosing she had been paid to do so. Ms. Kardashian has agreed to pay $1.26 million in penalties. She has also agreed not to promote any crypto asset securities for 3 years. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.